Welcome to a special weekend edition of the Amped Up Show with BC, featuring this week's amplified SmackDown review, 11/21 of the year 2025. The negative and the positive to this week's show. The negative, once again, this show completely sucked. The positive, it didn't suck from top to bottom this week. No, because Q1, the opening segment, was actually okay. Nothing more than okay, but at least it was decent. Everything after that Q1 first segment once again falls under the category of complete and utter garbage. You can flush it in the toilet with your morning load. Another show that was complete trash. So if you are asking, BC, is this show worth spending 2 hours on? If you missed it this week and you're asking BC for his honest critique and his honest response as to if you should spend 2 hours of your life watching this show, of course not! Save yourself that 2 hours. Anything will be better. Picking up a bad habit, throwing yourself into the middle of traffic, banging your head on a wall for 2 hours would somehow be more productive. And I know this community, there's enough Nimrods, there's enough geeks that are going to try to sell you on a bag of goods. It was a good show, BC. It was a really good show. The ladies, Becky joined Team Heels, and AJ Lee joined Team Faces. Yes, all the ladies were out there, and they were brawling, BC. I had to look down because the midsection of my pants was stiffening up. It was getting a lot harder down there. I was so entertained. Hey, Beasley, what about all the bangers? Oh, Beasley, you saw Penta versus Balor, Mello and Reed and Drago and Dugelberger. And Beasley, what about Fraxium and DIY? Beasley, it was banger after banger. The John Cena tournaments, Beasley! The John Cena tournaments! Yep, that's what SmackDown was. That's exactly what it was. A bunch of wrestling matches that I could not care less about. Why would I care about Penta versus Balor? That's like something at a house show. You're gonna watch wrestling action. Mello versus Reed. Who cares? Because they slapped the Cena tournament on top of it? Dragunov versus McDougalburger. Why do I care? Because it's going to be what? A banger? Are they going to perform wrestling moves? Fraxium versus DIY. You ready? It's a wrestling match. It's going to be a banger, basically. Now you take all those matches, because this is why I'm supposed to say this was a good show, right? Because of these matches. Why do we care about Penta versus Balor? See, on this channel, we're gonna ask the real questions, because every other simpleton in this community just wants to go, this was a good show. Yeah, in fact, you know what? This was really great. This was a show from World Wrestling Entertainment that really knocked my socks off. I put the socks back on, they got knocked off again. Hunter Helmsley and Road Dogg, Jesse James. They really knocked it out of the park, I tell ya. That's what you're going to hear in this community, right? Everybody gets something mediocre and they claim it was the greatest thing since the BC Amplified channel. But we're going to ask the real questions. Oh, yeah. We're going to get to the root of it, right? Why does Penta and Balor? Why does that how does that excite you? Because you're going to see a good wrestling match? So you chose to occupy your Friday night so you can watch good wrestling matches. What's Penta's story? What is Penta involved in right now that we care about? I don't want to hear no stupid John Cena's tournament, basically. No, what's the storyline that Penta is in right now? Come on. We'll do the Jeopardy theme song, and you can contemplate it and think and go, wow, basically, I never thought of it that way. Nothing. I know he's a good wrestler, so I just watch him in good wrestling matches. Okay, now the person he was facing last night, Finn Balor. What's the story for Balor? What's Balor's story? Right, you gotta try to grasp at straws, right? You're gonna try reaching, aren't you? Well, basically, I think it's long-term storytelling. Eventually, Balor will go his separate ways from Judgment Day. I see Dominic Mysterio versus Balor in the future, basically. Oh, there's no question. Eventually, that's not a story right now. Helmsley doesn't have any plans for that, bro. He hasn't had any plans for the Judgment Day since the Judgment Day became the Judgment Day. Under Kennedy McMahon. So you have nothing going on for Balor. You have nothing going on for Penta. You throw him in a match. You call it a Cena tournament match. Or was it even? I don't even know if that was a tournament match. I don't even care. It's a wrestling match for the sake of having a wrestling match. That's not a television show. That's something you spend. You used to be able to spend $20 and you go at a house show and you watch it because it's in your town. But that's Hunter Hearst Helmsley's television show these days. He just throws a bunch of matches out there, doesn't have to get creative, doesn't have to put any thought into it, and there's enough simpletons out there, there's enough geeks, there's enough fanboys. When it's all said and done, that'll go, what a show, man! It was so many bangers, I thought it was the 4th of July. Mello versus Reed, because they slapped a Cena tournament title on it. What's Mello involved in right now, storyline-wise? Why do we care about Mello? Well, basically, I do want to see him pick up some W's, though, man. I think Mello has what it takes. Cool. What's his storyline? Why should we care about Mello right now? Because him and Miz a few months ago split up? What's his story? Why should we care? There's nothing. Bronson Reed, what's his story? What's he involved in? Well, basically, he's doing something with WarGames, basically. He's going to war, I think, basically. What's he doing? This is a guy who just had a couple of matches with Roman Reigns. And most of you have probably already forgotten it. And I don't blame you. Nobody knows what Bronson Reed's involved in right now. One day he's stealing shoes. The next day he's losing to Bronson Reed. The next day he's brawling with a bunch of random faces. Nobody knows. Helmsley sure as hell doesn't. So we'll just watch Mello and Reed try to put on a banger. Fraxium versus DIY. Fraxium versus DIY on our Friday night. Why do you care about Fraxium? Come on, why do you care about Fraxium? You don't. You don't care about Fraxium. Well, basically, they're good wrestlers. Yeah, I'm sure. The whole roster is good wrestlers. Minus Max C-Pad Dupree. That's another story. Other than that, everybody's a good wrestler these days. We get it. Everybody started at the age of freaking 8 in their parents' backyard on the trampoline doing flips, and they call themselves wrestlers. Forget the fact that they have no personality, no charisma, they can't cut a promo if their life literally depended on it, but they can do flips and dives. They can make the crowd go, "Ooh, this is awesome. You deserve it." What a banger, basically. Did you see the bangers last night, basically? It was a banger parade. Dragunov versus Mick Dugelberger. Oh man, they put on such a good match, basically. Did you see the match? My penis area was getting stiffened up. I was so like, whoa, basically. I swear, I was like, whoa. I think I had to take a minute I thought to myself, do I have to change my pants? This is amazing. Yes, McDougalberger and Dragunov had a wrestling match. I saw the wrestling match, yes. Yes, like I've seen thousands and thousands of wrestling matches over the decades. If you think that BC started watching wrestling or that I watch wrestling today just so I can watch another really good wrestling match, that's not why I watch wrestling. That's not professional wrestling. Bro, you do know this is scripted, predetermined, right? I mean, Hunter Hearst Helmsley tells you that every chance he gets. There's a television show dedicated to pulling back the curtain completely and exposing all the tricks. There is no, let's see who the better wrestler is. The tournaments are so stupid. You're spending all these weeks and sometimes months trying to come to the conclusion of a winner that was written into the script 2 months earlier. I don't need to see who's better than the other. I'm not treating this like it's a real competition. I want larger-than-life characters and storylines that leave you on the edge of your seat, jaw dropped. That's what pro wrestling is, bro. That's why I fell in love with pro wrestling. The larger-than-life characters and storylines that I could not get anywhere else. Not even on a primetime 1-hour drama. Not even from a movie. Pro wrestling always gave me something completely on another level. Nothing could touch it. Nowadays, we can't get any semblance of a good television show. Pro wrestling in 2025 is just a bunch of matches. And all the wrestlers that grew up doing the flips and dives on their trampolines, they get to face each other, and when it's all said and done, we go, whoa, the banger! Oh, the banger, boy. Boise, did you see the night of action that Helmsley and Road Dogg put together? There's enough geeks in this community that are going to absolutely jizz all over this show. They're going to lie to themselves and you and say, this was a good show last night. I can't even believe, you know what? Check that. This was a great show last night. Not only did we get some bangers, but you got to see the ladies finish off their WarGames teams, man. AJ Lee came down and then Becky Lynch, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. How are we so fortunate to be in an era of wrestling like this, man? AJ and Becky just joined their teams. Oh, so good. That was the whole show, by the way. Q1 was the only thing semi-decent. Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes' tour bus, comes out all pissed off. Cody Rhodes is upside down, about to fall out of the tour bus. That was it. And then after that, nothing. You thought they were going to play on that throughout the show. Guys, they didn't. During the Mello Reed match, all the teams for the dudes for WarGames just came out and brawled. Cody somehow is all better. He's fully amplified. He's up on a commentary table, and he's cutting one of his better promos because he's amplified. Amplified Cody surpasses any other type of Cody. But I used to say that about Dolph Ziggler, Miz. When you amplify yourself, even Matt Riddle, the jokester, when they get amplified, that's their best version. But I'm like, Cody was like basically dead at the beginning of the show. How is he like more amplified than ever before? Hunter Hearst Helmsley's writing. So, I mean, they totally pissed on that. I thought they were going to have a cool story thread throughout the 2 hours because it began pretty damn okay. Build on that. Make okay good, make good great, make great epic by the end of the night. And here's a wild concept. Imagine if we got a cliffhanger, so you have to tune in the next week. Tape show, by the way, next week. So those results will be coming on the channel. I'll cover that. I'll have probably a spoilers episode of that coming up in the near future. Stay locked on the channel. Subscribed, notified, you know the deal. So they pissed on that. They could have had a really cool story thread. They put no effort or creative into it. They're just like, in an hour, everybody go out at the end of Reed and Mello's match and just brawl. Cody, grab a mic and just start talking trash to all the heels, and there you go. But anybody trying to tell you this was a good or a great show, they're an absolute idiot. BC will tell you right now in this cold open teaser, we already just ran down everything that happened. It was matches. Matches. I guess I'm supposed to say they were so good. They're wrestling matches, bro. I don't need to see Penta versus Balor for any reason. I don't need to see Mello versus Reed for any reason. I don't need to see Dragunov versus McDougalburger for any reason. I don't need to see Fraxium versus DIY for any reason. It's up to them to make us care about these matches. Why? What's the story? Well, basically, they just said it's the John Cena tournament, basically. Yes, that's the easy way out. That's why you see tournaments all the time in WWE. Because it's an easy way out, man. You get to put no effort into any of this. A while back, weeks ago, they just said, we're going to have a tournament, and then there you go, man. That'll fill up every show. Just have a bunch of random matches, and fans will eat it up. As if this is a real thing. Guys, it's Gunther versus John Cena. We knew this 3 months ago. So instead of giving us a story, this is what I am saying. I am holding this company accountable. I am forcing them. You should be joining the Amplified unit in forcing this company to raise their bar, not lower ours, man. Where is that love for this? And why have we settled in 2025? And we've been settling. Nobody wants to force Hunter S. Helmsley to raise his bar anymore. Everybody just wants to blow smoke up his ass like they're trying to get employment with the dude. Instead of being honest. So instead, in the process, they're lowering their own bars. This is garbage. It was Gunther versus John Cena 3 months ago. We all knew that. They had a chance to tell a story. Cena was going to be in Boston. Cena was going to be at MSG. Cena was going to be at Survivor Series. You had all this time before his last match. You set up something big with Gunther. No, you know what they did? They took the easy way out. Oh, let's just do the tournament. And Cena was fully on board because they had talked about this beforehand. And Cena, I guess, made the ultimate decision. All right, I like the tournament idea. So Cena made the ultimate goal. That's what Helmsley wanted from day one anyway. He gets to wipe his hands with all that. He doesn't have to put an ounce of energy into this. This is what Helmsley loves to hear. He doesn't want to do any of the work. He wants to walk around like he's Vince McMahon, but he doesn't want to do the work of Vince McMahon. So to get to Gunther and Cena, you get no storyline. You're going to have a stupid, nonsensical tournament that's just going to get you to Gunther and Cena anyway. Because you can't go anywhere else. You ain't going Mello versus Cena. Stop it. Not for his last match. You're not even going LA Knight, bro. You haven't even booked the dude half decently. Jey Uso. Yeah, but knowing Helmsley, could you imagine? He just won't give up on this Yeet thing and admit that it was a failure from the 18 to 49 demo, which is his main demo. But no. This show was another show that anyone from the 0 to 12 demo could have booked with their crayons and their coloring book. BC's the only one that tell you the truth about it. I've said from day one, I will continue to always say, you can always know that when you come to this channel, you're going to get the truth. If you're asking someone in this community to be honest with you, I missed the show, should I spend 2 hours watching this? You know you can come to this channel, and I'm going to give it to you straight. I ain't got to worry about the views, the clicks, the likes, the sub count. We don't worry about any of that. That'll fall into place. Our main goal on this channel, being the most ruthlessly honest channel in the community to an amplified level. And then and only then, we can try at least to make pro wrestling great again. Because nobody else will just tell the damn truth. You have people in the 18 to 49 demo, grown adults, watch shows like this, and they go, oh, this was a good show. Oh, it was good this week, this Friday Night World Wrestling Entertainment Smackdown. Oh, this was good. Oh, good show. This is good. I hear it's good. Shut up. Good. Sadly, a lot of individuals from that 18 to 49 demo, a lot of them might actually believe that. They might have watched this show, and they truly believe this was good, because to them, this is good. I don't see the problem with it, Blazely. I saw a bunch of wrestling matches that were so good, man. I was coming out of my pants almost, Blazely. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm getting Dragunov, and McDougalburger, and Penta and Balor, and Mello and Reed all on the same night, Blazely. If I cared about any of these individuals and what they were doing, maybe I'd be like, hey, this is pretty cool. cared about nothing. Nothing they're doing because they're not doing anything. Axiom almost lost his mask last night. I think that's the biggest story to come out of last night. Candice LeRae took his mask off. I truly believe that's the only story because he can't even talk about what happened to Cody Rhodes at the beginning of the show because Cody was up an hour later whooping everybody's ass and totally fine. Drinking some coffee, smiling afterwards. What a tech. Drew McIntyre suspended, but he's not suspended, but they found a loophole. I'm sorry, what? So now Drew McIntyre can't enter the building because he is suspended. It's just Paul Heyman found the loophole. Or can we just call it what it is? Hunter Hearst Helmsley is an idiot, a Nimrod, a doofus son-in-law, and he didn't think this through. So that's why none of this makes sense. It's like Charlie Flair last week, walking out on her team, and then 3 nights later, this past Monday night, running down with a kendo stick, helping Alexa, looking at Io and Rhea and going, all right, we're friends and we're on Team WarGames. Team Kendo Stick. Running down there like she's Meechin. And at the end of the show, AJ joins the faces and Becky joins the heels, which is what we already knew what was happening anyway. You could have had Becky keep her title. You want to hear a wild concept? You could have had Becky keep her championship, and her and AJ in WarGames would have just added immense fuel to their fire. So when they have a one-on-one match and that title's on the line and they have that history, oh, that's going to be good. No, instead, Becky Lynch loses to Max Dupree via a really bad crossbody. And now we're supposed to think of Becky in WarGames. Who cares? Who cares if Becky Lynch is in WarGames, bro? At this point, I'd be more concerned with Lash Legend than Becky Lynch because you know Becky can just lose to Max Dupree in a crossbody. I wouldn't want her on my WarGames team. And why do I care about AJ Lee and Becky Lynch right now? There's nothing on that. There's no reason. The title was the reason. Those were the seeds that were planted. So why do I care about this finish to this show? The whole women's WarGames match is just as bad as the dudes. Nah, but they say the women are even worse than the WarGames. No, I think they're both really bad. Each matchup is filled with nonsensical people. You got Logan Paul in there with Bronson Reed with Brock Lesnar. What? You gotta watch Jim Uso and Jay Yeaterman with Roman Reigns, Cody, and CM Punk. This is fine if this was like 5 years ago, right? And that bloodline was rocking off and Jay Uso and Jimmy were like feeling special with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns doesn't even feel special anymore. And then you go to the ladies. Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Becky Lynch, who just had that horrendous loss on Monday. How can you care about any of this, man? That's what I'm saying. If you do, hey, that's your prerogative, man. That's your prerogative. But that's the difference, because there's a difference. That you're okay with. You're okay with this WWE. If you watch a show like this, or you watch Monday Night Raw, and you think this is good, because this is your good, you're okay with this. If you get this garbage every Friday night, you're okay with it because you said, hey, this is good. This is a great show, man. What a great show. So this is what you're okay with. As long as you get this every week, this is your WWE. That's the difference. Because it ain't mine. But I've already been told by Hunter Hearst Helmsley, we're not real fans. Cool. We get to now be the amplified critics. We get to actually be the most ruthlessly honest individuals in this community, and that's what we're going to be. Because at least when you come to this channel, you ain't gonna get bullshit. The show sucked. That's the truth. This show sucked. I'm supposed to, I guess, say it was good because there was good wrestling matches. There's good wrestling matches all the time. Every show has good wrestling matches. TNA, AEW, NXT, Raw, SmackDown, the local bingo hall, New Japan, C-Mill, AAA. Everybody's got good wrestling matches. That's not a wrestling television show. at all. Adding AJ and Becky Lynch. And that's it. They come out and they brawled. That's it. They came out, they brawled. Becky shakes Asuka's hand. Helmsley's credit comes up and we go off the air. Let's talk about it. As if I haven't already. Don't worry. The actual review will most likely be shorter than the opening. But I had a lot of coffee and I'm so damn done with Paul Levesque McMahon producing a show like this just because he knows there are enough fanboys that are gonna call this a good show. If I just produce a bunch of random wrestling matches, it doesn't matter if there's anything added onto it. It doesn't matter if there's any story being told. It doesn't matter if these individuals have a special feel. It's a good wrestler A versus good wrestler B, and they're going to produce wrestling moves. The crowd will chant, "This is awesome." They'll go on the online doohickey machine and give it 3.6.5 and 2.75 stars. They'll call it a banger. And they'll say, "Man, Helmsley's cooking." Let's talk about it. Let's go in depth. I'm going to show you how bad this show is, but I'm not just going to say that. I'm going to give you details on how bad this show is and how much Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque McMahon doesn't spend a damn moment trying to be creative. The beginning of the show was as decent as it was going to get. A decent beginning to the show. 11/21/25 SmackDown. Not sure the last time I was even able to say that. Heyman, Bronson, Breaker, Logan, all in the ring. Usos come down the aisle. Jay cuts a short promo. So much better with his brother. It's not even close. It's not even debatable. The Usos are the best when they are together. Jay just looks more comfortable, more natural. The Usos are best together. Cody's music plays, but there's no Cody Rhodes. We cut to the parking lot. Drew McIntyre steps off of Cody's tour bus. We then see Cody Rhodes basically upside down, about to fall out the door of the tour bus, battered and beaten. The Usos run to the back to the aid of Rhodes, and this leads us out of Q1 and into our first commercial break. This was simplistic, but good. Take these characters and put them in unique situations under intense circumstances, and I promise you, you'll have a recipe for success. So PC was thinking, maybe something happened. Maybe they put Helmsley into a closet and they kind of locked it for 2 hours. But a decent beginning, so maybe this is going to be a good story thread throughout the night. Guys, that was it. In a few segments, we're going to talk about... I can't even make it up. I'm just going to leave it at that. In a couple of segments, you're going to see how this all unfolded. All of that was to lead to complete and utter failure. Garbage. But at the time, in that moment, I was like, hey, pretty good Q1. Simplistic. I'll take it. Because again, I'm thinking it's leading to something. Oh, I made that mistake yet again of actually believing that maybe Helmsley got creative. Q2. Segment 2, Drago in his open challenge, which is just a bootleg of John Cena. And Sami Zayn diminished the value of John Cena's open challenge, and Dragunov has absolutely made it just stupid. But it's the portion of the show you're gonna get a banger. Drago versus McDougalburger, J.D. McDougalburger from the Judgment Day. Drago wins. No further comment. That's what I put in my notes. No further comment. There was I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. Why do I care about Dragunov and McDonald's? I don't care about any of these. Bro, they're not in any. What is Dragunov doing? What is his storyline? Why should I care? Oh, he's a good wrestler, basically. I know. I've been saying that for years. I've been saying that Dragunov, when he gets to the main roster, he's one of those dudes. Even if Helmsley tries, you can't screw him up. But what did Helmsley do? He somehow found a way to screw him up. And then he got injured. So then he was screwed up. He was basically ruined. And then he was on the shelf. So when he comes back, they throw a title on him like it's a Band-Aid. They fractured his booking, but you can't put a Band-Aid on a break, on a fracture. A Band-Aid doesn't do anything. So they thought that a title on Dragunov was going to make up for the horrible booking. And then being gone for a year, people were just going to care about Dragunov. No, not on this channel. I'm going to ask, why are we caring about Dragunov having just random matches every week? What is it proving? That he can wrestle. Say, I know. Idiot. I get it. And this is not a professional wrestling television show. Man, we're just doing this every week like Sami Zayn. With John Cena, you had an actual superstar out there, and you knew at any given moment something could pop off. With Sami Zayn and now Dragunov, it's just to put on a, quote, good wrestling match. Pop the crowd with a "this is awesome." This was just a wrestling match for the sake of having a wrestling match. I have zero interest in wrestling without reason. Zero interest in, quote, bangers. That's not why I watch pro wrestling, and I know that is not what hooked you guys on the pro wrestling, man. It was the characters and the stories. The wrestling was like the cherry on top, because I'm pretty sure even as a kid, you guys knew this was scripted and predetermined. Michael Cole in this match said, and I quote, almost 12,000 fans. First of all, I just thought that was hilarious. He tried to exaggerate it, embellish. Over 12,000. And then he realized, actually, we just hit 11,000. So he still tried to make it sound good, right? Almost 12,000 fans. Well, that's not a sellout, buddy. What happened? Where were they last night? Colorado, I believe, something like that. What happened? You're this close to Survivor Series, but you're not in Boston or Madison Square Garden, right? Or LA. So now you're having problems selling out. Didn't have those issues the past several years, right? But now all of a sudden, you're leaving thousands of seats unoccupied. Maybe lower your ticket prices. Maybe produce a better television show to make more people go out and watch it live. I don't know, 18 to 49 demo? What happened, WWE? Did you not have enough kids in the area to drag off their parents into the arena? So Michael Cole, almost 12,000 fans in the arena showing support for both of these men. End quote. Think about that Michael Cole statement, please. Almost 12,000 fans in the arena showing support for both of these men. Talking about Dragunov and McDougalburger during their match. Almost 12,000 fans in the arena showing support for both of these men. That right there is one of the biggest problems in Helmsley's WWE. Faces and heels mean nothing today. There's zero difference between them. Could you imagine back in the day, maybe the Attitude Era, even Ruthless Aggression, I would say, definitely the Golden Era. Could you imagine, though, Jim Ross calling Stone Cold versus Mr. McMahon? Right? Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon. And Jim Ross screaming, fans showing their support for both of these men. It's pathetic, right? Could you imagine the commentator going, the fans are showing support and respect for both of these men? No, you wouldn't hear it. In today's WWE, McDougalburger is supposed to be a heel, right? I don't even think we're supposed to think that way anymore. But I think he's booked because he's in the Judgment Day more of a heel. But Michael Cole was like, hey, the crowd is just clapping like trained seals for anybody because we're giving them a good wrestling match. Yeah. We're just giving them a good wrestling match. It doesn't matter who's a heel, who's a face, if there's a storyline, if anybody seems like they're larger than life. These are pretty the opposite. It's Dragunov and McDougalburger. But it doesn't matter. Sit back and watch the banger we're giving you. Fans in the arena showing support for both of these men. I couldn't believe that was even said. If that's not one of the most glaring issues with today's WWE, man. But nope. Basically, man, it's so harsh and negative. It was a good match. Can't we just say how amazing both athletic competitors did? Basically, both are amazing talents. It was a banger, basically. Can't we just stay positive? Yes, I'm very positive. I am positive that this show is the worst television show I've ever seen. And you can add Monday Night Raw in there. I am tired of going, oh, Raw's a little better, I feel. Raw sucks. Raw is garbage. It's the same problem. They just colored it red. The Cena tournament, Mello versus Bronson Reed. This was just a certified mess. Heyman is involved, Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, the Usos, even Cody Rhodes finally wakes up from his tour bus whooping. And when all is said and done, Mello defeats Reed via countout. Rhodes, post-match, grabs a mic and he tells Mac, I said before I'm finished with you. Now I'm not finished at all. He then tells Lesnar, the last person to beat you here was me, twice. He then says to Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker, if history serves me right, a Steiner has never been better than a Rhodes. Yes, amplified Cody is always the best version of Cody. What happened to your whooping, man? You didn't want to tell a story thread throughout the night. Instead, an hour after we see the whooping, not even, by the way, this was the end of hour one. And they just wrapped it up with Cody coming to life and taking out the heels. All right then, man. Wow, that was a freaking stupid. Totally negated the first segment. And fans are willing to look past it, man. I'm telling you. Today's WWE fan is willing to look past all of this. The same idiots that are probably hanging on every single word and deed that Tony Khan over in AEW is doing. This company that's been around about 6 or 7 years only. But everything they do is probably wrong to these numbnuts. WWE, no, everything business is great, man. Look, wrestling matches. Wrestling matches, basically. Did you see Cody Rhodes come to life after his tour bus whooping? Wasn't that amazing? Cody Rhodes is booking so good with Helmsley and Roadie Dog Jesse James. Q5. In the start of hour 2, DIY defeats Fraxium. Candice LeRae rips the mask off of Axiom, and this allows Gargano to take the pinfall. An old school manager interferes for the heels matchup. Is that so much to ask for? Where are the sensational Sherrys of today? Where are the Bobby Heenans, the Slicks, the Jimmy Harts, the Jim Cornettes? Even Corey Graves on commentary, man, with an old school heel commentator line post-match. Corey Graves goes, even Frazier doesn't want to look at his partner's face without a mask. Hideous! Even Frazier doesn't want to look at his partner without a mask. Hideous. Corey Graves. That's the old school Bobby Heenan or Jesse Ventura commentator, right? Those are the jabs you need, man. Be a heel commentator to add some flavor into this. Even Frazier doesn't want to look at his own partner without a mask. Hideous! That was a real line from Corey Graves. It just brought me back to the Heenans, the Jesse Venturas. Cena tournament match next. Penta vs. Balor. I literally have nothing in my notes. By this point, I was drained. I was exhausted with this show. You guys want to know word for word what I put in my notes? Check this out. This is word for word. Cena tourney match. Penta vs. Balor. No, I'm sorry. Penta pins Balor. ... Okay, moving on. I'm not joking, man. Penta pins Balor. Okay, moving on. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Oh, so good, man. They did wrestling moves to one another, and it was so good, man. I was about to give it 4 and 1.5, 3/4, and another half star. I was gonna do it. The finish was a little, so I gave it 4.5 and a 3/4 with another 3.5/4 of a fifth of a star. Io, Rhea, Alexa, and Charlie end the show. They introduced their 5th member for Survivor Series, AJ Lee. Light it up. Wish we would light up the creative in this damn company. Lee comes out, sexy as always. Her little pink, what are they, Vans, whatever. Legs for days. AJ Lee looking just chef's kiss. It takes her a minute to realize, like, her team is getting beat up because while she's coming out, the heels hit the ring and they attack all the faces. Lash Legend is in there, Nia Jax, Kabukis. So finally, AJ Lee, I thought she was doing like a Jeff Hardy. I think you guys told me this was in TNA, I believe. It may be AEW. I think it was TNA, though. But Matt Hardy was in the ring and he was getting his ass whooped. And Jeff Hardy's music plays, but instead of going to help his brother, Jeff Hardy just starts for a full minute, just dancing for the crowd. While his brother's getting his ass whooped. At first, I thought AJ Lee was pulling that, bro. But then she looked over and then a concerned look on her face, but at first she didn't even want to run down there. She was like, do I really want to do this, man? I was chilling at home with Larry, even just 24 hours ago. I don't need this. But finally she goes to run to the ring and Becky Lynch takes her out before she's able to get in the ring. Becky takes out AJ. Becky gets in the ring. Becky shakes the hand of Asuka, and Becky's the 5th member of Team Who Cares. Credits pop up. Helmsley and Lee Fitting, Artificial Intelligence, and whoever else. And the show goes off the air. You waited 2 hours to put what we already knew. AJ Lee on the faces, Becky Lynch on the heels. Nobody would care now. Nobody. AJ got the ultimate revenge, right? The title is on Max Dupree. Becky Lynch looks like an absolute fool. A crossbody from Max Dupree and she loses her title. Who the fuck needs to see Becky Lynch in WarGames now? You can't get that image out of your dome piece that Becky lost to Max. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. And then they all brawled, and then Becky shakes the hand of Asuka and we go off there, and that's your finale. That's your... You gonna call that a cliffhanger? You see, we have to see what happens next week. That's a cliffhanger. No, we don't. This wasn't a cliffhanger. We don't have to see anything. They just have their teams, they're 5-on-5, and now you just watch WarGames, and you watch these 10 ladies try their mightiest, even to light a candle to what AEW's ladies did. Good luck with that. Get your trash can lids. Get your kendo sticks. Get your Slim Jim tables. Go visit Sami Zayn, the employee of the month at Home Depot. Maybe he can hook you up with a nice ladder. Use all the same little things. And good luck. That was it. That was SmackDown. This show sucked. We're just filling these shows with wrestling matches. What's the reasoning? What's the purpose? I told you guys that's why I can't stand when tournaments are announced. Because I know if you think the creative is bad already, wait until you get tournament weeks. Because then they're really just going to throw random matches and it's going to be under the disguise of tournament. That's the story. It's tournament matches. Oh, gee golly whiz, I can't wait to see. Oh, wait. For this tournament, we literally knew who was going to win months ago. Rendering it even more irrelevant than usual. Again, guys, this is the only channel that's going to be this honest with you. I'm accepting that fact. Too many people have just lowered their bar so low. I think what happened for a lot of individuals is it got so bad for so long and they just gave up and they tapped out and they're like, whatever, dude. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy wrestling. They don't even care about being captivated by wrestling anymore because they know that's long gone. So they're forcing themselves to try to enjoy something that literally cannot even be enjoyed. Not if you're watching at home. If you're geeking out live, that's one thing. It's a lot of kids. They're dragging their parents out. They're eating and dancing and screaming all the chants. I don't know how you can be in the 18 to 49 demo watching at home on your couch, on the floor maybe. I don't know, maybe times are rough. You don't even got a couch. But you're watching at home and you're a grown adult and this is acceptable to you. Like, I can't even fathom that. And this would obviously not even be a channel for you because I have nothing to offer. The good news for people like that is there's plenty of channels that are blowing smoke up Helmsley's ass. There are plenty of channels that'll tell you right now, plenty of people in the community, podcasters, content creators, journalists, I put that in air quotes, they will tell you how great this show was last night. And that'll tell you everything you need to know. There's people that are being honest with you, and there are people that are lying to not just you, but themselves. Pathetic is what this show is. No. If you're wondering, should you catch this show? Nope. Nothing to catch. There was nothing of relevance, nothing of importance, nothing happened. The biggest moment last night was Candy LeRae took the mask off of Axiom, but they quickly covered it with a towel, don't worry. Other than that, nope, nothing at all. The biggest storyline in the community coming out of last night, do you know what it is, guys? You want to hear how bad this show was? Sheamus is out of the tournament, injured or something. I have no idea. That's it. Like we care about Sheamus. Much respect to the dude. If he's actually injured, speedy recovery. Not too speedy. Make sure you're good to go. But that's the biggest story coming out of last night, guys. That's the only thing people could talk about. Sheamus is out of the tournament. LA Knight has to face somebody else. Wow. WWE is riveting in November of 2025. Some breaking news. Sheamus is out of the tournament. We couldn't care less about this damn tournament anyway. Or who's in it. Doesn't matter. It was always going to be Gunther anyway. Who cares if Sheamus is in it, out of it, halfway in it? Who cares? Oh no, we can't see Sheamus take on LA Knight, a face versus a face. What are we gonna do? That's it. I can't even right now. Going to get more coffee and whoop the weekend's ass. Hopefully you do the same. Until next time, and there will be that next time. Oh, by the way, hold up. I got some really sexy new channel member badges. They're debuting today. So now when you become a channel member, you earn that black microphone. That's right, and it is sexy. You get your black microphone when you become a channel member. If you are a member for a year, you're going on to get that bronze microphone. You just get elevated, man, into that sexy bronze. 2 years, you just went platinum. You have earned your platinum microphone. And you're going to be basically amplified like BC on these reviews and on this channel. And then, 3 years plus, you got your gold microphone. How badass, man. How sexy do those microphones look, huh? Earn yours, man. And if you ain't a channel member yet, go get your black microphone. Rock out. Until next time, and there will be that next time. BC saying check you, unit. Salud.